be with you again this week on Sunday News Watch. It's a special Sunday package that comes with a pull-out featuring people and events at 1:30 with Mojisola Sholaja. Muji, how do you do today?
How do you do? People and events will come up shortly with interesting Owambe vibes. I am Mojisola Sholaja. I'll be back.
And I remain Adewale Dusmu, your anchor. Do stay tuned with us. I'll be back with full gists. And just before we serve you the details, remember that when life gets blurry, adjust your focus. President Muhammadu Buhari has eulogized a renowned scholar and leading geographer, Professor Akinlawo Mabuogunje, who clocks 90. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, Buhari lauded Professor Mabuogunje for his contributions to the development of Nigeria through his works in various areas. President Muhammadu Buhari joins the academia in celebrating with the renowned geographer, Professor Akinlawo Ladipo Mabuogunje, on his 90th birthday, come the 18th of October 2021, extolling the scholar, administrator, and consultant for the historic roles he played in structuring growth and demography of the country. The Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has described late Alhaja Kubrat Agbeke Isiaka, the mother of Prince Gboyega Nasir Isiaka, as a woman who lived for her children, especially through prayers and support for the development of her immediate community. Professor Osinbajo stated this during the final burial ceremony of Alhaja Isiaka in Imekwafo local government area of Ogun State. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, among other personalities, graced the occasion. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiu completes the story.
The entire community of Imekwafo went agog as the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, among other personalities, joined the family of late Alhaja Kubrat Agbeke Isiaka, Yadin of Imekwafo, the mother of Prince Gboyega Nasir Isiaka, popularly known as GNI, to celebrate an impactful life. Professor Osinbajo said there was no doubt that Alhaja Kubrat lived a fulfilled life, particularly through its son, Prince Nasiru, who have demonstrated a high sense of responsibility and reliability to the cause of national development.
There's no doubt at all that because she was such a woman of character, such a hardworking and diligent woman, that she would give birth to and bring up children who will be like her. So the second reason why I'm sure we're all gathered here is because of her son, Gboyega Nasir Isiaka in particular. That if you are looking for a reliable man, this is the man. If you are looking for a reliable man, look at his words. And I remember those words very, very distinctly. And I think through the years, just as His Excellency Governor Dapo Abiodun has said, he has proved to be reliable at all times.
In his remarks, Governor Abiodun also noted that the deceased, who started from humble background, was very hardworking and dedicated, and whose children stand tall in all ramifications.
A dedicated woman. She started from a very humble background from all accounts. She was a diligent trader whose focus was on her family. Barely 14 years after Gboyega was born, he lost his father. And being the first son, Mama spent her time, her energy, her resources in ensuring that he brought Gboyega and his siblings up in such a way that we can see the reflection of that hard work in the personality of GNI.
While appreciating everyone, Prince Gboyega Nasir Isiaka spoke glowingly on the virtues of our beloved mother.
No matter how old your parents are, you still feel it. I'm still feeling it. Well, I give glory to God.
The deceased, which survived by children and grandchildren, died at the age of 80 years. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Trauma is a psychological reaction to a harmful or life-threatening occurrence that is outside the range of normal experience and beyond control. Those with histories of trauma may be troubled by thoughts of suicide, and some may attempt to complete suicide or commit it. In this special report, Ayodeji Olomi examines the effect of trauma and its impact on the increasing rate of suicide in our society.
According to the World Health Organization, trauma is one of the major causes of death and disability across the world. The effects of trauma may include anxiety, depression, hopelessness, despair, anger, alcohol and substance abuse, among others.
So trauma is an emotional response to an event, probably an incident that occurs or accident, depends on how individual could adjust or cope to the trauma.
A trauma is a force that can injure an individual. And of course, it could be physical and it could be psychological, which we refer to as emotional.
Trauma symptoms typically last for a few days to a few months, gradually fading as the unsettling event is being processed. Trauma and its side effects are associated with greater suicide risk. Non-accident inflicted traumas can result in suicidal thoughts, which is becoming rampant in the country.
Suicide is an act of deliberate, termination of one's life with the intention of actually killing oneself.
Before somebody can commit suicide, it means there's a degree of depression.
A significant number of attempters and completers of suicide have a background of trauma.
It may be due to mental illness. It may be due to discrimination. It may be due to bullying. It may be due to other domestic violence or abuse. Then as a result of the inequality that we are talking about in the country, psychological problem, post-traumatic stress disorders can lead to suicide.
Notably, depression is a major cause of suicide. In fact, when people are depressed, a very severe form of depression, and they are untreated, they are not helped, they are not supported, they end up, killing themselves.
Respondents believe that these menaces could be tackled through government interventions and human relationships.
Generally, we need to improve our health, physical health and mental health, especially depression.
The first thing is knowing that you have a problem, then speaking out and seeking for help.
Most times people who are depressed, most times they don't seek help. But people around them who are friends, who are families, should help them. If they can't help them, then they should seek professional help. And once they begin to see the symptoms, which will be maybe a sense of hopelessness, worthlessness, some will even verbalize it.
Routine checks with a medical expert is recommended for the victim with traumatic experiences. General public were also enjoined to stop discrimination against people with special need, as it could also increase the rate of suicide in the society. 17th of October every year, World Trauma Day, is celebrated across the globe to deal with and avoid trauma fatalities. Ayodeji Olomi, Ogtv News.
Brain drain is now a common terminology to describe the immigration of highly skilled labor from developing countries to highly industrialized nations in the post-colonial world. Over the years, Africa has been robbed of our best trained and able-bodied people who despairingly migrate out of the continent in droves to other developed climes in search of better opportunities. In this special report, Adebola Oshomoji takes a look at the implication of brain drain to Nigeria's economy.
The term brain drain has become a global phenomenon, suggesting substantial emigration of skilled people out of a country. The availability of better professional opportunities in other countries, a crippled national economy, a desire to seek better education and higher standard of living, insecurity, human rights violations, and high unemployment rates are just a few of the reasons people emigrate out of their countries for greener pastures. Sadly, Africa still remains one of the greatest casualties of this advanced form of slave trade. Respondents said the reasons for Nigeria's persistent brain drain are not hard to diagnose.
For the situation we have in Nigeria, a lot of these people are leaving. Some of them will stay if they have a better condition. Some of them are not going because they really want to go. And let me also add, it's not rosy like the common phrase, the grass is greener at the other side. It's not as green as you are looking at it.
Some of the effect of brain drain is that it affects the economic growth of the nation, reduces human capital assets, and causes demographic shift.
Another respondent, however, viewed the mass exodus of skilled professionals as positive, noting that it is an investment in Nigeria's future.
The way things are, unlike in the past, I would look at brain drain as having negative impact on the economy of a country. You know, recent researches with the global world that we're talking about, with the Internet of Things, no, it is no longer doing that. It is a source of income. Because when you look at those that goes out of Nigeria, what they repatriate back in terms of, you know, foreign exchange. In the analysis of Central Bank about 2 years ago, diaspora, you know, returns of money to Nigeria was taking a huge chunk of what is coming in terms of foreign exchange earnings for Nigeria.
What should government do to stem the tide?
Give us good working tools. Give us security, good working environment. If we are paying me 20,000 naira monthly, 20,000 naira monthly should be worth it.
What the Nigerian government need to do is to sit and look at areas where we still need a lot of human resources, manpower, you know, to develop our country.
One of the ways of stopping human capital flight is by appreciation. Start by appreciating them, giving them reasons to stay, increase their standard of living, pay them on time, give them stimulus and motivate them, give them incentives, and they would be forced to stay in the nation.
It is therefore apparent that the nation's leadership must take active steps towards stemming the loss of talented Nigerians to other countries. Adebola Oshomuji, Ogtv News.
Service unto God does not end within the four walls of the church, as it includes meeting the needs of the less privileged in the society, as well as preaching love, peace to the entire citizenry. Venerable Sunday Abodoin made this known during the 35th anniversary Thanksgiving. The chairman of the Governing Council of Pharmacists Council of Nigeria, Professor Ahmed Mora, warned pharmacists in Nigeria against unwholesome practices, reiterating that anyone caught wanting will not be spared from facing the large arm of the law, no matter his position in the society. According to the registrar of PCN, Elijah Mohammed, pharmacists being produced in Nigeria are of world standards and they can compete favorably anywhere in the globe. The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has denied a report by the Wall Street Journal that it paid 20 million naira as ransom to bandits in exchange for an anti-aircraft gun seized from the Nigerian Army. The Wall Street Journal said in a report on Sunday that the NAF brokered the deal as the President Muhammadu Buhari was planning a trip to Katsina, his home state. The U.S. media outlet said 20 million naira was delivered to the bandit in Rugu Forest by a Nigerian Air Force officer who leaked details of the operation under anonymity because the military realized that it would be too risky to leave the weapon in the hands of violent criminals operating in an area the presidential jet will fly over. The rugged, lawless jungle that covers parts of Kaduna, Zamfara, and the president's home state of Katsina has served as a vast haven for bandits terrorizing Nigeria's northwestern communities. A large portion of kidnapping plots emanated or terminates in or around the forest security agencies had previously warned. But the Nigerian Air Force denied making such payment to bandits in exchange for weapons. In a statement on Sunday by the spokesperson, Air Commodore Edward Gabwet said there was no truth in the report. Over 7 ISWAP elements were reportedly neutralized by the Nigerian military on Saturday following attempts to enter Maiduguri and are successfully repelled. At over 1 billion naira has been paid into a special account as the ministry's contributions to repay part of the loan collected for the rail project. He said that the federal government was already negotiating for new facilities to construct the rail from Ibadan to Kano. According to the federal government, the money is to help address the huge rail infrastructure deficits in Nigeria in the last 30 years, and the last 6 years have been top priority of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. The transportation sector was included as one of the beneficiaries of about 1.45 trillion naira critical sectoral allocation in the year 2022 budget. About 71.67 billion naira as counterpart funding was allocated to 6 ongoing rail projects across the country, and more than 4 billion naira was for rehabilitation of various railway tracks. And the federal government has stated that when fully harnessed, Nigeria has the capacity to generate as much as $18 billion from the export of its estimated 45 million metric tons of cassava products every year. The Minister of Industries, Trade and Investment, Mr. Niyi Adebayo, who made the disclosure when he received the Chief Executive Officer of BKG Exhibitions, Mr. Ifeanyi Chukwu Agu, noted that the country had not fully taken advantage of the much sought-after commodity. The minister lamented that though a world leader in cassava production, Nigeria is currently not an active player in the cassava trade in the international market, explaining that with the right collaboration, the situation will improve. He said cassava and oil palm are strategic commodities in the quest for growth and development of the non-oil sector of the economy. More than 20 people have been killed in floods in southern India after heavy rains caused rivers to overflow, cutting off towns and villages. Several houses were washed away and people became trapped in the district of Kottayam in Kerala state. Video from the area showed bus passengers being rescued after their vehicle was inundated with flood water. Days of heavy rainfall in Kerala has caused deadly landslides, and India military has joined rescue efforts. Helicopters have been used to fly in supplies and personnel to areas where people have been trapped under debris by the landslides, officials said on Sunday. Fishing boats are being used to evacuate survivors trapped in Kollam and other coastal towns as sections of road have been swept away and trees uprooted. Dozens of people have been reported missing, and there are fears the death toll could rise further. To sports now, Victor Osimhen, €10 million increase from its market value earlier in the year has been the Napoli forward equals compatriot Wilfred Ndidi in the €60 million market valuation. According to the latest transfer market update, the Nigerian international is the third most valuable player in the entire Serie A. The increase also means that Osimhen is the world's 49th most valuable player overall. At €60 million, the 22-year-old is now Nigeria's joint most valuable footballer and the second most valuable striker in the entire league. The Ultimate Strikers Academy product completed a permanent switch to Royal Sporting Chatillon for just €3.5 million in 2019 and was valued at €40 million before joining Napoli in 2020 to become the club's record signing. No Nigerian player is worth more than the former Lille man, with Leicester City midfielder Ndidi also valued at €60 million. Osimhen's excellent showing at the start of the 2021-2022 session have boosted his recent racing, with the Super Eagles striker scoring 9 goals in 12 appearances for clubs and the country.